From a childhood in foster care to building an empire, Tina Johnson is the woman CEO. She has a successful corporate event company, and she fills rooms and stages with hundreds of women ready for inspiration. I'm going to let her tell you her story, and I can't wait for you to hear it. But she is also one of my co-authors in the book Course Corrected, which is probably showing up backwards if you're watching the video version. It is a book full of inspiring stories, stories of trials and tribulations, or stories of pivot moments, and Tina's is in there, as I mentioned. Please order that book today. Today is the day to help us reach bestseller, and every dollar that we raise goes to Treasure House Fashions, a nonprofit helping women in crisis regain confidence through clothing. And I do not want to forget to thank our sponsor, Black Oswald Coffee Company. They are a coffee company that for every order that you purchase goes to benefit organizations helping those with mental health journeys. And so it is a cause near and dear to my heart. Tina, I'm just going to let you go for it. Tell them who you are, what brought you to what you do today, and then we'll just catch up here, and I'll ask some follow-up questions.
Wonderful. Well, first, Marta, thank you for inviting me. One, to be a part of the book. There's incredible women that we're featuring in there, and I can't wait to help get it pushed out because I think there's some incredible inspiring messages for women. And thank you for inviting me to be a part of the show today.
Yeah.
So, I always like to start out that I am married to my high school sweetheart. We celebrated 40 years this year. We've been together for 46, 47 years. I am the mother of had 4 boys in 5 years. It was a very active household. And I've been blessed with our first grandchild, who's a grandson that just turned 2. And that is my part of reasoning of my mission to getting up every day and driving me of, making sure that he has a better world, and just looking in anticipation for growing that grandchild, that next generation. So
I love that, because you are thinking more than the present moment, which it's so important to think about the present moment. But I honestly have never thought about that, Tina. I can't believe that I haven't, but you brought something really important to light. But you're creating a better world for their future. Sometimes we get up and we're like, I just want their lives now to be the best that they can be. But what about their future? And in so much of your work, you're not only creating a beautiful life now. As a matter of fact, you're at a beautiful resort now. Yes. You are changing the world for the better, for a better future. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk a little bit about, your childhood, because as I shared with you, for whatever reason, I'm very passionate about stories of women and men who have had a childhood in the foster system, and they come out the other side and they are stronger. They're compassionate people. They are helpful people. And so I would love for you to share a little bit about that if you're comfortable.
Sure. Well, I always start at the beginning and say that I was born a left-footling breech to a 15-year-old mother and a 17-year-old father, both high school dropouts.
Wow.
Unfortunately, my biological father became an alcoholic, and then they proceeded to have 5 more children after me. So I was the oldest of taking care and protecting them. My biological father, the result of being an alcoholic, was very abusive when he went on his drinking binges. And so they started, family services stepped in, and then they took myself and my brother, that was the next one, 15 months apart from me, and put us in, we first went into an orphanage, and then from there got put into foster care. And then the other siblings were taken in by family members. And then the youngest one, we still have not been able to connect with and find. He was taken right from the hospital. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And what was it that occurred that, what brought it to that the youngest was taken right from the hospital. Is that at that moment that they realized this family needs help? We've got to do something. We've got to rehome these
Well, I
children.
think by that point, my biological father was already in jail. So how was, a single mom, 5 kids now, no high school education. There was no way she was going to be able to, take care of 5 kids.
Wow. Yeah. And I think that's where I feel a lot really connected to you, because as you know, I'm one of 5, and I have 7 children. And so I don't know, I just have a heart for women from big families. And also, I also, by the way, have been with my spouse since I was a teenager. We were not high school sweethearts because I was 15 and he was 25. So,
sorry. Because I was 15 and Andy was 18. So,
well, okay. Well, yeah. Well, we were still together 7 kids later. So
what a blessing.
Sharing that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So in the journey of that, how do you feel that impacted how you do your work today?
I think one of the things, because coming out of being in foster care for several years, some okay, some not okay environments, and unfortunately was adopted into, my brother and I we were adopted together into a extremely abusive home.
I'm sorry.
So that drive to be in control and be a leader, and at the end of the day, knowing that I have ultimate responsibility for my destiny. I cannot rely on others, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but it's not my husband's responsibility. It's not my children's responsibility to make me happy. I have to put the work in to figure out where my journey's going and what brings me true joy. And right. So that is something, in my 60 years that I've been really working on. And it's a daily struggle of reminding myself that, they're not responsible for the happiness, that I have to work on that.
I completely agree with that, because once we take ownership and we take pride in that, as opposed to thinking of ourselves as a victim to circumstances, yes, there are victims, and sometimes God is always there to take care of us, but he also equips us with the ability to take ownership of our life, as you said, and be responsible for our own happiness, that no matter what is going on, pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. There are helpers, but it is on us to enjoy our life there, to take charge of it, and to create something that we love and that allows us to feel happy. So I commend you for having that wisdom. So
that was one of it, is when I had the aha moment of when you're in basically survival mode. That's what my household was like, is every day of just survival. And at some point, as I worked and separated and got away from that situation, I had to make a conscious decision. Am I going to live a victim's life, or a survivor's life? And that's when things really started changing, because when we live in that place of being a victim, we continue to give them the control. Once we release that and say, you no longer have control, I'm no longer going to live as the victim. It doesn't change the things that happened to me, but
it's not hard.
Right. Absolutely. But making that shift and saying, no, I'm a survivor. I'm in control. I have the power to make change to myself, but also have a ripple effect to help change the lives of others. And in talking about, it was my brother and I that were put into the foster care and into this adoptive home. And unfortunately, I lost him in an unexpected death 10 years ago.
I'm sorry.
And so one of the things that we've been able to do to continue this ripple effect was we created a foundation in his honor and in his name, and that we work to support teens aging out of foster care. We provide scholarships for them. We provide resources so they can go to camp, because a lot of people don't understand is foster families get a stipend to help with the basic needs for that family. All those other things, music lessons, going to, camp, that's unless they are a wealthier family that's taken in foster care, they don't have the resources to be able to do that. So those things were not available, to us when we were in foster care. So those are the kind of things, is anything that we can help to normalize their day-to-day,
What was that foundation called?
The Breeze McKenzie
I'm
Foundation.
sorry. What is that foundation? Breeze
Breeze McKenzie Foundation.
Foundation. Well, that's really honorable. Thank you. What was your brother like?
Oh my gosh. A bit, don't make me get him.
I don't know, Tina. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch the show, but I kind of love it when we cry together on here, because I think crying is so good for you.
Maybe. Just a big bear hug is the best way I can, and his laugh was absolutely contagious. Bigger guy. That's why when I say bear hug, I mean, when he hugged you, you knew it. So.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Another difficult question. It seems like you have a loving space, and you speak from a place of love when you speak about your mother. Do you get to have a relationship with her?
No, I don't have a relationship with my biological parents or my adoptive parents, and that was out of choice.
Right. Because I would love for you to talk about that, because you're a kind woman. You have a beautiful big heart. You're changing the world, but sometimes that doesn't mean that you're not kind. When you're establishing those boundaries of, I have love for you, but over there, you go over there, I still have love for you. Can you talk about that a little bit?
And again, that was a conscious decision. I knew that because I was in foster care a little bit later, and I wasn't adopted till I was almost 9. So I knew about Barbara. That's my biological mother. And when I turned 21, I decided that I wanted to go and I knew I had a sister, because I'm the one during the rants of the beatings that were going on in the house. It was my responsibility, even at 5 and 6, to take care of and protect the other little ones. Mm-hmm. So I remembered, and I knew that I had another brother and a sister. And so when I turned 21, I went back to Lynchburg I really just wanted to find my sister. Mm-hmm. And found out that actually my sister and my younger brother were never adopted. They were never put in foster care. They were never adopted. So they were raised by neighbors. And then my biological mother took them back into her household after she got remarried. Mm-hmm. So when I went and found my sister, I found the whole extended family. Right. And, Barbara wanted to have a relationship, but I just had made peace with that. And I had just sat down and I prayed to God, and I asked him through him to allow me to write a loving message of gratitude, but also that these are my boundaries and I'm putting closure around this. Mm-hmm. And it was from a place of, she could have easily had an abortion. Right. And she chose life for whatever reason that was. This was in the 60s, so how relevant that was that you could even go and find a safe place to do that. But she could have done that. Mm-hmm. And, so that's what it comes from, a place of gratitude that she chose, to give me life.
Well, this is where I would like to talk about something. And I don't know, Tina, we haven't talked about this. And so when I talk about this is not to say that any of my guests on my show share the same beliefs, but I am pro-life. I do have a variety of guests who have various beliefs, but I am pro-life. And one of the biggest arguments for pro-choice, and again, I have love for everyone, and I have never been in that situation, so I can't speak from that place. I just know that I am Catholic. I had my first when I was 20 years old, and my husband and I did not have a good relationship at the time. very Catholic and a very very stringent conservative organization that could have put a lot of shame and guilt on me, but luckily my mother was beautiful,
Yes.
is beautiful and just accepting. And the first thing she did was take me to buy outfits for my baby. But
Aww.
one of the biggest arguments is, well, if they don't get aborted, they will end up in the foster system. And that's to say, so do their lives not matter? Do children, all these children that exist right now that are in the foster system, should they not have been born? Is their story over? No, it's not.
No.
I know countless women, countless people who have gone through the system. Yeah, that sucked. And I wish that didn't happen to you, Tina. But you're here, and
Yep.
and you're strong, and I want to shift that into, you're doing work to make the world a better place. What does that look like through your work? What change do you hope happens to ripple into a better world?
Well, part of when I've been an entrepreneur for over 35 years, and I launched my 8th business in COVID, August of 2020. I do own, as you shared at the beginning, I own a corporate event management company. We will be celebrating 34 years in January. And during COVID, I was in another business with a partner, and she was going through some life changes, and everybody knows, the event business imploded. I mean, we do live festivals. We manage some of the largest shopping centers in our community. I'm in the Northern Virginia area. So, I mean, it imploded. We went from 35 employees down to 3 employees. Mm-hmm. And we shifted, my partner and I had to shift our format to all virtual, as everybody else did. And that's when I was really going through, and that business framework was to help women that had already achieved $1 million in revenue and success, and we're trying to scale to multi-million dollars. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed and I liked working with them, but I had been mentoring young entrepreneurs and what I consider early stage business owners for over a decade. And that's what lit me up. I just, every time that I got a chance to work with them and really see that transformation, because nobody else was really helping those that were in the early stage. And so that's when I just had this light bulb moment, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I share the story in the book, that it was one of those things, because I kept kind of trying to figure this thing out on my own. And I always preach to my clients is stop trying to figure out the how and focus on the who. There is a who that will help you. And my who just happened to be God. I just said, this is what I feel like I am called to do, is to help women business owners by teaching them the how to of building a sustainable business. There are so many incredible coaches out there. So many of them work on, here's the methodology that I'm teaching, because they've been trained in a specific way or certified in a specific way. And they don't care where you are in the business cycle, but they're teaching it's March. This is what everybody's going to learn. Mm-hmm. But everybody is in different stages and phases of their business. And that's what I felt was really missing. And so I just released it and just said to God, look, if this is what I am meant to do, this is what I'm truly put here to do as my passion, then you're just going to have to show me the way. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those 3:00 in the morning. I mean, waking up, that it was almost like a physical shake, that there was no way I was going back to sleep. And finally just got up, went into the bathroom. I always keep a notepad either by my bed or in the bathroom. Went in, and it just kind of like just poured out of me. You're going to create a program called Fab 5, and it's to help 5 women with the 5 months left of 2020. And that was in July of 2020. And a couple other things that I just wrote down. And then it was just like a huge release. And then I just went back to bed, because it was like unconscious, just writing. I just was writing, and then getting up the next morning and trying to figure out, like, on this, what the heck does this say? And it said Fab 5. And I just said, okay, we're going to figure this out, not knowing how I was going to do it.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay. And I shared in the book that I was like, okay, it was going to take, I figured, okay, 5 women. How am I going to find 5 women that are going to be willing to pay me
Mm-hmm.
to coach and guide them in their business with no framework established? I mean, I had nothing. I just had to have a blind faith that God was going to lead me to the women that needed my experience and my knowledge, because that's really the value that I bring to the table. Is I've owned multiple types of businesses. It's the experience of being able to say, I don't want you as a woman business owner to spend the first 10 years of building your business struggling like I did. Didn't pay myself, working 70 hours a week. I just didn't know how to do this, and they didn't have the resources like we do today, 35 years ago. I mean, I didn't even have a computer. Everything was handwritten. You didn't have computers 35 years ago. You couldn't go and search
You
stuff.
look old enough for that, for this anecdote.
But it was in God's blessings that within, that first day that I, got rid of the shakes and my palms sweating and picking up the phone, and within the first 24 hours, I had my first 2. Well, yep. How do we? And I'm like, okay. And then figuring out, okay, what am I going to charge them? What are we going to offer them? And then, within a couple of days, I had all 5, and I figured it would take months. But again, that goes back to being able to release it. I'm an extreme type A person. Always want to be in control. And sometimes we have to just say, no, I'm not the driver on this bus, and I need to release it and trust that God was going to put the 5 women that he wanted me to be in their lives and touch their lives and help transform their lives, which would have a ripple effect and help change their families' lives too. So, I mean, within that week, I had my first 5 clients, and within a month, we had added 5 more. So it's like, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really, when you give up control and you offer it up to God, like we can do, and we should do. I mean, I don't believe in shoulds either way, but that's a completely different conversation. we should do everything that God has given us the power to do, to take matters into our own hands, like we discussed earlier. But ultimately, it's when you offer it up to God. And that is a prayer that we say with my children every single day, at dinner, at bedtime, whenever. God, whatever path you have for me, just help me walk it. Show us the way. We are yours completely, whatever you have planned for us. And I think, and one of my favorite prayers, I don't know if you've ever read It's Not Your Money by Tasha Silver or Tosha.
No,
like, Tonya. Tosha. I don't know, but it's my favorite book of all time. You'd think I'd memorize the author by now, but it is a prayer. It's a beautiful prayer. I'll have to share that with you.
I would love that.
Yeah, beautiful prayer.
Part of my morning too is every day getting up and asking for God's guidance in, please put in front of me the person that you want me to have, to touch their lives. It's not about me, it's about them. Who do you want me to help support, help guide, help change, help give them the resources, whatever it is, put that person in front of me, whether it's a stranger or somebody I know. And even like from the business, when I launched the CEO Woman, we built this business on philanthropic principles from day one. A percentage of every dollar that comes in goes into a collective fund, and we support women and children's initiatives throughout the whole year. So it's part of our philanthropic, principles that we do.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, you and I will be on stage together at the end of the month, September 26th. This is your event that you've organized. I got to tell you, even running a marketing agency for the past decade, it is so impressive to me that you can just fill a room with 200 women. You've already ordered 200 books, of course, directed to gift to these women who are joining. And I am honored to be a part of it. I do want to share one anecdote that whether it's a room of 200 or you plan an event and nobody comes, those connections can still ripple into something
Absolutely.
big. I was at an event. I spoke at a virtual event with Angela Goodman, who's also a co-author.
Yes.
Corrected.
And she's speaking at the conference too.
I think there was like maybe less than a handful of people in attendance the whole day, but it doesn't matter because we created such deep connections with us speakers. I created a connection with, I just felt so, hearing Angela talk, it just felt so connected. I asked her to be in the book. She was in the book. She asked Tina to be in the book. And Tina and I connected. We felt kinship. And then she asked me if I would be one of the speakers at the upcoming event in DC. And I get to come and have my babies with me because I'll just be coming from a kidless trip to Italy for 6 days.
Oh, wonderful.
Like, I'll bring the kids with me. I'll bring the teenagers. They'll handle the kids. I'll go speak on stage, and that's just life. Yep. But I'm super grateful for it. And that's just to say, whether you have an event and 200 people come or a handful or one, if it is like Tina is saying, and it's like this idea that pops in your head and it is on your heart, and this was somebody else's event that I spoke with Angela, but just do it. Don't worry about how many people are going to show up because, Tina filled her program that she thought about in the middle of the night, didn't know how, didn't know who, didn't know what, but she just went for it and God provided it. And it's in those moments that he truly does his best work.
Mm-hmm. And we consciously cap this event. So I used to put on the largest conference in the state of Virginia for women business owners and executives. And we did that for 12 years. And we would have 850, 900, 1,000 women. And so when we stopped doing that one and I launched the new business and we were thinking through it, and one of my mentors had asked me, is there anything that you really want to do that you haven't been able to do in this new business? And I said, I really would love to be able to bring back a similar event, but with more intention around it, because there's no way that you can get to know when you're at conferences that have 800, 1,000 people. You're just basically, I always say it's like moving cattle from one space to another space to another space. It's just like, there's just no way. You're passing in the hall. And I was like, I want real intention behind this. And I want to cap it to 200, 250 max, so that we set up times throughout the day so that you can truly start making those connections. I want them, we challenge them right at the beginning. Go find 9 other women that you do not know and introduce yourself. That's my goal, is that they walk away with making an intimate connection with 9 other women before they leave. 10, it would be awesome. But just go and talk, and they can do that because you're sitting with different people throughout the day. You're sitting beside them in the breakout rooms. You're sitting with them at round tables. So you get to see the same women over and over. So it makes it a little easier. And I think for people, because by nature, I'm an extreme introvert, and walking into a room, even with 200 women, I'm going to go hide in the corner. And if somebody comes talks to me, that's fine. But I'm not going to be the first one to do that. And I'm very conscious of that when we're building out the programming, just because I want everyone to be able to see themselves in the speakers that are on the stage, and also for whether you're introvert, extrovert, whatever, that we get you connected and make you feel like, you're home. And last year, what I loved the most, and the most feedback that we got and heard throughout the day, was it was like being at a reunion. Everybody, just because they've gone to business school or their clients, or they see people at other events that we do, and it's just like, it was like coming home and being at a reunion. So I just love that.
Yeah. And I love that you do that, because when I go to networking events, you wouldn't, I don't know, maybe you would think this, but I am actually a big introvert. I really refuel with just being in my room by myself in the dark. And so I feel very anxious when I walk into these events with lots of people. So I make myself walk up to groups or sit at a table where I don't know anyone for the purpose of making new connections. I'm like, hey, I'm Marta. Can I join your conversation? And some people are like, oh, okay, like, what do you want? What do you want? It's like,
what's your alternative motive here?
Exactly. People are like, okay, lady, So, but I just love that you invite people to do that, to normalize not sticking with the clique you came with, but like spread your wings, and then by creating new connections, you're then bringing your people that you do know, and you're creating beautiful relationships too. And I love that. So I am so excited for this, and so we are going to put the link in the show notes of number one, how to get your tickets for the summit. And then Tina has a freebie in there for you as well that I'll let her explain. I hate to say I'll let her explain, that she'll explain. And then don't forget that today is our book launch day. Please order your book up, Course Corrected. And by the way, I don't know about you, but if you think that this is because it's like national business leaders and it's not a big publisher, that this isn't going to be a good book. I cried. I laughed. I messaged every single author and I was like, I mean, I'm not surprised, but I didn't know you had it in you. But I mean, I did know you had it in you, but this is like, you blew me out of the water more than I thought you ever could. And even though I know that you're capable of amazing things, I'm just still blown away. That's how amazing it is what I'm saying. So definitely order your book today. It helps us reach bestseller. And remember, it does help Treasure House Fashions, which is a nonprofit that helps women regain dignity and confidence through crisis, through clothing. So Tina, what's that freebie you're gifting to everyone? Because you're so generous and kind.
Well, if they go to the ceowoman.com, which is our main website, and all of our social media handles are on there. We created, because one of my areas of expertise is time management, prioritization, delegation. That's what I teach most of the time to our clients. And so we put together, it's like a 35-page time management mastery workbook. And we just put it, it's on the website. It's gifted. Anyone that wants to go on and grab that. It's digital. It's a fillable document too, and encourage them to, especially coming into the fourth quarter, because we are so busy with kids are back to school, juggling everything related to, our families' life balance. We're getting ready to go in. We're going to blink and we're in the holidays. So taking some time now to be able to set the right things in place, to be able to have those tools and resources to figure out what's the best way that I can be better managing my time. So we put all of our other tools that we've had and put it all into this one mastery workbook. So I invite anyone to go on. It's free.
That's so generous. Thank you. That sounds amazing. I'm definitely going to get mine. And for sure, join us September 26th in DC, in the DC area, for the amazing summit, the CEO Woman Summit. Tina, is it just for business owners, or it is also for business leaders? Because I was looking at it, and it does say business owners, but I feel like a lot of women business leaders could use this too.
Right. The summit, the Women CEO Summit, was built in mind specifically to help support and empower and provide educational resources for the woman business owner. We do have a CEO leadership and a personal development. So some of our business owners will bring, an executive leader, maybe their EA or their right-hand person. They're like, hey, you go to the personal development or the leadership ones, and then we'll reconnect. But the intention around it is to support the women business owners, to give them an opportunity to have a day, come and completely unplug and work on your business. When do we have that opportunity to be able just to have a whole day for collaboration, and to just unplug and be present with 200 plus other women business owners that, all like-minded, speaking your same language, and supporting and empowering you to focus and build your business and to go into the fourth quarter.
Amazing. Can't wait. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, I will be sharing the link to that. And if you follow me on any of the social media, look out for that link. And I'll also be sharing a special promo code for $100 off the ticket. So just look out for that. Priority today. Order Course Corrected. Wow. Do not forget, it's literally, the link is all over my social media. Please do so. But also, if you're watching as a replay, today is tomorrow, whatever. Either way, because every dollar goes to Treasure House Fashions, and I'm sure we'll already have made bestseller. We're calling it into existence now.
Absolutely.
Thank you to our sponsor, Black Oswald Coffee Company. Go to blackoswaldcoffeeco.com. Use the code with all caps, awesome15, to get a special discount for your desired blend of brew, and every dollar for every ounce, every sip, every bean, every ground of this coffee goes to benefit organizations helping those undergoing mental health journeys. Thank you, everyone. I love this episode. Thank you, Tina. Until
Thank you.
next time.